Alright, sir, I'm taking off for a bit. I'll see you soon. Look at EJ just sleeping. Hello, fellow bike people. This is my fledgling bike shop. And no, I'm not fully set up and ready to go yet. But I'm close enough that I'm comfortable giving you all a tour, letting you see what's going on and maybe give you some updates, because I've actually had some cool stuff happening that's not directly related to the bike shop. So, starting on the right, we've got my little tool wall, all of my fluids, and some of my extra tools in the back there. That's all stuff that I collected throughout my days at Cyclepath. And it's not a totally complete bike tool set, like I can't do absolutely everything, but most normal repairs I can handle with the stuff I have here. I am going to have to expand my tool collection in the future, though. Here we've got some just random small parts that I've been working with and seeing if they're even worth savings. A lot of them you can see are pretty rusty, but some of them, like this here, those bearings, still perfectly serviceable in a case where I can't get anything else. Those will do the trick. So I want to separate all of those parts. These two BMX bikes here, these are ones I have for sale. And I do plan to make a video about these two specific bikes later, comparing two almost identically priced GTs. Because one is a GT Comp, one's a GT Air. You can buy them both used for about the same price. But for some reasons that I will explain in that video, the Comp is objectively better, but the Air may be subjectively better to certain riders in some circumstances because of the way it's designed. We'll get into that. Over here we have my collection of used parts. That is all very used parts. There's nothing new in there whatsoever. And that's just the nature of how I'm going to be doing business. The bike industry in general is trending towards more expensive, more competition-focused stuff, which is really not what I'm focused on. I like, bikes like these and these. Things for casual cyclists, your average rider who rides for fun, not for racing. It feels more natural to me. So I think the more affordable nature of used parts is going to be very much appreciated with this business. I also have some cool accessories for sale. Ooh, gotta clean up that bag a little before it goes. But yeah, I got some bells, baskets, locks, all just random stuff I picked up. Some used inner tubes. Yeah, fun stuff there. That is more used tires and a bit more of my bike art. Of course, things that I harvested from Cyclepath. Brian was throwing it out. I was not going to let this poster go to waste. Now up here we have the other two bikes I have for sale. This one is a Specialized Hard Rock. Everybody knows Specialized. That's one of the most popular brands in the bike industry. This one is a little bit older, from back in the days when they were making their mountain bikes a bit more chunky in the hardtail department. And although it doesn't have disc brakes, it has V-brakes. It's still a really nice bike. This one here, this is a Bridgestone Bauer. Yeah, that is Bridgestone, the tire company. They, are a company that makes whatever's profitable in their minds at the time. And in the 90s, they were a very good quality bicycle manufacturer. These ones are like the Japanese style builds, which I don't know what it is about Japanese bikes from the 90s, but the build quality on them is absolutely fantastic. So as much as this bike is still using friction shifters on the down tube, so it's not the most ergonomic, it is a very good ride quality. It's a very fast bike, it's a very comfortable bike, surprisingly lightweight, and because it's well made, hopefully pretty low maintenance as well. These two here are donation bikes. These are the next thing I want to talk about. You remember everything I was doing in Mississauga with the GLE movement and Mississauga Cycles? Well, that spirit is alive and well out here. These are both donation bikes for S.A.F.E Summerside and the Free Store, as are these two as well. So the way this is working is, it used to be that the Free Store got all of their bikes from the police in Summerside, and they would come in kind of conditions like this. Very much unrideable, essentially just scrap for parts. And of course, that was not something they could donate to people. There is a certain standard of usability and quality that you want when you donate a bike. You can't donate something that's not usable. It's like donating dirty underwear in my mind. So, what I'm contributing is fixing these bikes up. Now these two, they didn't need a ton. This is one of the ones from the Summerside Police that the Free Store got. I just had to give that a normal tune-up. This one, I got some donated by somebody on Facebook. I actually made a post on the Ask PEI page, and the response has been absolutely amazing. This is one of the bikes that was donated. It was recently serviced. It even had the tag from its last tune-up still on the handlebars when it came. It basically needed some air in the tires, a little lube on the chain, and that's it. This is a fantastic donation, because as much as it looks like every other old school 90s mountain bike, it doesn't look special. It is pretty special. It's a GT. It's good quality. And back then, GT was one of the best brands out there. It's got nice Shimano parts on it. It's got the rack. It's got, you know, the nice padded seat cover. It's got all the little things you want, and it's going to be super reliable. No, it's not going to be a fast mountain bike. No, you're not going to be able to do jumps on this thing. But if you want a nice, solid urban bike that's efficient, fast, low maintenance, you can leave it outside, people aren't going to steal it, that's pretty much the perfect bike. So that is an ideal donation in my mind. Moving back to these two, they are in very rough shape. These were donated by someone on the island, again through that Facebook post. And I'll be honest, this is not something I would normally be able to fix given the condition of them. This one here, it's all right on the surface, but the rust is so deep in the wheels and everything that I would worry about the structural integrity. Look at the aluminum on that stem. That is not safe. That's just begging to snap. The tires are worn out. The chain's super rusty. One of the pedals is broken off. So this is the kind of bike that normally would just be used for parts. Same with this one. The tires, they've been sitting so long that they're actually kind of cracked up and broken. That's not going to hold up for more than a couple rides. The chain is so rusted that I'm not even going to be able to get that running. That is a write-off. The pedals, super rattly. Tells me they're about to just break off themselves. This thing is rough. But another benefit of that Facebook post is there was somebody who very kindly donated a big bunch of parts. There's actually been a couple people. One of them is Peter, who runs the C&P bike shop in Kensington. Not me, different Peter. There's just a lot of bike shop owners named Peter. He donated some, and then somebody who works at Standard Aero in Slemon Park actually donated a few parts as well. So with those, I'm actually going to be able to get these bikes going. And that's a fantastic thing. I hate seeing bikes go to the scrapyard, especially when, look at this frame. It shows a little bit of wear, but the paint's in pretty good condition. It'll clean up nice. I put some nice parts on that. Somebody's going to have some great times on this bike. So that's pretty much it for in the shop itself. Now I want to show you the outside, because I've actually been doing some work out there as well. I'm really stoked with how some of this has turned out, and I have a vision. Hopefully I can express it through the very beginning level stuff that I have going on there, but there's something I want to see this place turn into. Before we go out, this is a sign that I have kind of a work in progress. This thing is going to be going out where it's visible from the road, and I'm going to be putting my hours and my phone number on there. That's going to go out possibly even this week. I want to time it for when I have a weekend that I know is going to be warm, both Saturday and Sunday. There isn't going to be that huge amount of snow on the ground, so I can get that thing out there where it's visible and have some people just stop in out of curiosity. Moving to the outside of the shed, this is kind of the entrance door. Don't know if you recognize that sign from back in the day. I had that up at Cycle Path for a long time. Got some other bike decorations. That is yet another sign in progress. I'm not sure what I'm going to put on that. I think that's going to be my Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube information. And then here, this is the start of the look I want. Whenever I get scrap wheels that are just too scrap to be safe to use, maybe even the ones on that black BMX in there, they're going on this wall. And I want that filled up with all kinds of rainbow colored wheels. And I'm going to literally use whatever colors of paint I have available. I am not going to be picky about color here. I just want a big splash of color across that. Something I see frequently out here is lawn bikes. So this is one where the frame was rusted to the point where it was structural. There was no saving this bike. There's also a lot of weird parts on that. So that the tires even, those are the old 26 by 1 3/8. Those are actually a bigger diameter but skinnier than your average 26-inch mountain bike tire. So yeah, they're not easy to come by these days. They're expensive, and when the frame is that rusted, no, I just painted this thing and I put it out here as a decoration. I harvested the cables off it because the internal gear cables, the shifter and everything was still fine. So that's going to be used for another donation bike. But now this, hopefully, it's going to grow into these trees as the trees age. Also set this up. So many cars. I've set this up right where it's visible from the road. It's really loud by the road because that is essentially Prince Edward Island's equivalent of the 401. That is the Western Road. So we are essentially right by the highway, which is absolutely wonderful. The reason I say it's wonderful is if you're going basically anywhere west of Summerside, you're using this road and you're seeing this sign. Right to the left of that is where I'm going to put the sign that's still in the shed. This is the one for all of the donation work at the moment. So S.A.F.E Summerside, they actually have a YouTube channel. I'm going to put the link in the description. Free store, they operate out of Summerside, and it's exactly what you think. People in need sign up for their services, they can go and they literally pick stuff up for free. And it's fantastic. I think every city should have something like that for people who just need to get stuff but don't have access to the money. Belinda, awesome work. This is the continuation of my wheels and bike parts theme. These trees here, I want them to be all full of just hidden, colorful bike parts that you kind of have to look closely, especially once there's leaves and it's all green. I want them to be somewhat hidden, so it's like a little magical forest of brightly colored bike parts. This is going to be fantastic. And again, this is anything that is so beat up that it's just not worth using on a donation bike or me selling. Anything like that goes out here and hopefully makes people happy when they come and hang out. And speaking of people just hanging out, that is something I actually want. One of the things that does bug me about the bike industry in general is the fact that it is so much focused on fast turnover and making, a tight margin profit and being just on it all the time. And something about that means you kind of have to function like a restaurant. We tried to minimize this at Psychopath. We tried to make it as inviting as possible, but there's still an element of trying to turn over the customers, get people in and out, doing the business they need to do with you, and making room for the next customer. I don't like that. I want my bike shop to be effectively a community hub, a place where cyclists are comfortable, not just coming to get their bike fixed and maybe browse the accessories and stuff that I have for sale, but also just meet up with other cyclists. Come and hang out, check out the bike art. In terms of people bringing their kids, maybe, they want to just watch their kids here while I fix the bike. I'm going to have a little library set up. I'm going to have maybe some board games, some toys. I already bought a big box of just stickers that I'm going to let kids go nuts decorating their bikes with. I've got a lot of ideas just for making this place welcoming. Because, I want everybody at all skill levels of cycling to be comfortable just hanging out here. That is one of the big beauties of the cycling world in general, is it's so social. This is a story I've repeated many times, but I was homeschooled up till high school, and getting into high school, I found making friends was kind of difficult, and bikes were a great tool for helping with that. And things like hanging out at the skate park or the dirt jumps, that made me feel like one of the cool kids. I don't know if I was seen that way by everybody else, but it certainly made me feel that way, and that's what's important. It made me feel good about myself, and a lot of people aren't interested in hanging out at skate parks or dirt jumps. So a nice little place with some books to read, some nice benches, some trees for shade, maybe a big jug of water, and the bike art. I think that's a very welcoming environment, and if I were just a casual cyclist, that's the kind of bike shop I'd want to go hang out at. Looks like somebody's pulling in. So, that was an unexpected and great end to the video. It turns out I'm not making another video comparing the two BMX bikes, because, I just sold the yellow one. This really friendly guy brought his son. His son's like a younger guy, wanted to get into BMX. Exactly the type of demographic I thought that bike would be perfect for. So, really happy with how that turned out. Yeah, kid's excited. He's got a bright yellow bike with a bunch of custom parts. That's cool. He's gonna have a good summer.